President Biden makes a disaster declaration after last month's flooding.
Here to break down the new federal resources, Congressman Juan Vargas. Congressman, thanks for joining us. We appreciate your time.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Okay, let's talk about this. This declaration, it's a long time coming. These people, these days have felt like years for them. They finally have the assistance from the federal government. What will this mean for them?
Well, this means that they can finally get some help. I mean, the reality is that this hit hard. I mean, we didn't expect this type of rain. All of a sudden, we had just a major deluge, as you know, and a lot of houses were flooded, huge damage, and now the president has declared it a major disaster area. And that's the relief now that people can get. They can apply to FEMA. FEMA can give them then the money that they need to rebuild their houses and to replace some of the things that they lost, especially if they didn't have insurance. A lot of people didn't have insurance.
Yeah, and a lot of people we talked to said that they welcome this, obviously, but they feel like, why did it take so long? This was January 22nd. It just happened now. Why does it take so long to get something like this when the problem is so obvious?
Because you don't want every disaster around the country to be a federal disaster. In other words, the locals then wouldn't do anything about it. So it has to be at a certain level before the federal government kicks in. So you want the locals first, the county, the city, to provide some sort of relief. Then once it gets too big, then the federal government kicks in. If not, you'd see that every time that there was a problem in Louisiana, there was a problem in Tennessee, which would be all the time, the federal government would simply be able to, funding their county, funding their cities all the time. So that's why it has to reach a certain level of damage before the federal government kicks in. Before that, they're supposed to get aid from the local governments.
Right.
You talk about the local governments, if we can just with one more question with us. To be prepared for something like this, we don't typically see this kind of weather in San Diego. So what do you tell these families, and we've spoken to a few of them that have lost everything. Yeah. How would one be prepared for something like this in the future if it's not something that we're, like earthquakes we're kind of getting prepared for because we know we're prone to that, but not stuff like this. So how do you prepare?
Everyone better prepare now because the world has changed. I mean, I've been preaching this now for a couple decades. No one's believed it. This is climate change. This is climate change. This was a 1,000-year event. Well, the truth is that these 1,000-year events are going to happen every 5 years. It's not going to happen every 1,000 years. These events that we call them catastrophes or CATs are supposed to happen every 25, 50, 100 years, 1,000 years. The 50-year events are happening every year. I mean, the weather's changed. It's changed everywhere in the world. Not just here in the United States, not here just in San Diego, everywhere. Right now in Italy, they're saying we have no water. This has never happened to us before. Weather patterns have changed. This is climate change. And I tell you, if you live in any area that is prone to flooding, get flood insurance. Even though the federal government kicks in here and gives you some help, it's not like flood insurance. You need flood insurance. It's expensive, but you live in these areas, buy it. You need it. Buy it.
We talked to a lot of folks who said, yeah, this was not necessarily completely an act of God because of the unusual nature of the storm, but they also said, the drains weren't cleaned out. You were a councilman here for many years in the 90s, so you know how the city operates our old streets. You're very familiar with all of that. What do you say to those folks who their drains weren't cleaned out, they had all these issues, and that's why their particular street flooded? There's a lot of frustration there, and then you, city and state and federal, they just want this stuff fixed. What do you say to that?
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I mean, there was maintenance that wasn't done. It should have been done. There's no doubt about that. A lot of vegetation that grew up in these canals, they should have been cleared out. All that being said, a 1,000-year flood, a 1,000-year event like that, I don't care, what you would have done to prepare for it. You're going to get water damage. Not as much as you got, but you still would have had it. I mean, this thing was just too big. Yeah. And the truth of the matter is, it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. We've got to harden these situations. We've got to harden the canals. We've got to clear out all the vegetation. We've got to go deeper. We've got to do all sorts of things to prepare because this is climate change. I know people don't like to hear, oh, no, it's not real. It's real. Mother Nature does not forgive.
Okay, let's talk about something else that's also real. Yeah. What's happening at our border.
Yes.
That's a big problem. And we got some local leaders that are also calling on the president to just completely close the border. So what is your response to that?
That would be a financial disaster to San Diego if we closed the border. The truth of the matter is that a lot of things, a lot of goods and services and people move back and forth from Tijuana to San Diego. If we close the border, the first people to yell and scream about it actually would be the San Diego Chamber of Commerce. It would be a total disaster for this area, total disaster. One of the things that we have to do is have better control of the borders, no doubt about that. and we've got to do better. And we're trying to pass laws to do that. Interestingly, the Republicans have been saying, we got to do this. And all of a sudden, when we propose a bill with them, they say, oh, no, we don't want to do this because Trump doesn't want to do it. Come on, guys. You know, we have got to do better at the border, and we all got to do it together.
I'm glad you brought that up, that bipartisan bill that didn't go and it didn't work when it said, the president even said, well, you give me the power, I'll close the border to do what we need to do to fix the holes that we have there. That didn't work, but the president said he would close the border. How do you explain to somebody who thinks that what is kind of mess are we in here that nobody can get their stuff together to address the problem? What do you say when not even a bipartisan deal works?
Well, that's a very good question. You know, what happens when a bipartisan deal doesn't work?
But the president also said he was going to close the border.
If he got
with the power.
Yeah, but well, he said close the border. It wouldn't mean close the actual border. I mean, that's a disaster. What he meant was that he wouldn't allow people then to be able to come and apply the way they have been in the future. Because right now, international law and federal law says you show up, you apply for asylum, you have to go through this process. And it takes a long time. That's what he said. I mean, he didn't say exactly right. He said, I'll close the border.
Because that was confusing, because he said, I'll close the border.
That's exactly right.
Talk to me about the U.S. Citizenship Act. I'm interested in that, because what we're seeing now lately is different. It's a global migration. I don't know if that has to do with phones and social media and the word getting out a lot faster and a lot easier than before. But we're getting people from China, Russia, Africa, just all over the world now knocking on our door at the southern border. How unusual from years past, decades past, is that, and why?
So I came back from Slovakia, and they're saying exactly the same thing. You know, we're getting all these people from all over the place we've never had before. Germany's screaming about it, Italy's screaming about it. It's happening all over the world. I know people don't like to hear this, but this is the climate change we've been talking about. I mean, when you can no longer farm in these different places, when all of a sudden the weather changes on you, people are starting to migrate. Conflict also, there's a lot of conflict in the world right now. Those two things have caused huge migration. I mean, if you go down right now to Colombia, they took in 6 million people, a little country like that, again, because of conflict that they're having in Venezuela. So these two things, climate change and conflicts around the world, are causing great dislocations of people. And you know what? The world order has to figure this thing out. We haven't figured it out yet, but we have to figure it out. The World Food Program, too. We have 38 million people marching towards starvation unless we do something about it. And again, the world has changed. Now, I know no one likes to talk about it, and they think it's a myth. Hey, guys, it's not a myth. Mother Nature's not fooling around. This is climate change, and because of that, lots of problems.
Wanted to talk to you lastly, the Migrant Welcome Center, it's going to close this week. There's a lack of funding. It's all money, and things don't have enough money to keep operating when people still need it. Can Congress help with that? Is that also controversial? It seems like it's like somebody wants something, no. Somebody wants something else, no. Is that something that we can be funded and get that back up and running? Is it needed?
I think it is needed, and everything is controversial, to be honest with you. Of course it's controversial. So yeah, I think it should be funded. Well, one of the things that didn't happen, they didn't apply for the money. I mean, that is problematic. When you don't apply, you don't get anything. And that's been a problem. So we're trying to work with the county so they apply this. I mean, again, I don't want to put it on the county. I mean, the county has lots of issues and they're working hard, but they didn't apply. I mean, and that creates obviously a problem when you don't apply. But we're trying to work with them. And again, I think they've done a good job with the big problem.
You guys are on a little break, obviously, you're here. When you go back, what's the first thing on the agenda? It's a busy year, it's an election year, there's a lot going on.
Well, the biggest thing, in my opinion, is Ukraine. I mean, Ukraine and Israel, what are we going to do? I mean, right now, I mean, it's going to come out pretty soon, and it's been declassified. What you saw right now was a big exodus of Ukraine from a couple of cities. There are going to be hundreds of people that were killed because they didn't have weapons. These guys were down to 40 bullets. And so a lot of them just couldn't fight, so the Russians were overwhelming them, and they were counting on us, the Americans, to come through, and we didn't. We didn't. And so they've got to figure out, are they going to surrender, or what are we going to do? Are we going to surrender to Russia? Are we going to allow Russia then to run over Ukraine and all these other countries? We've got to figure this out, and we should be, I mean, it is interesting to me how the world has changed politically. It used to be the Republicans, and Ronald Reagan says, we're America, we're going to defend the world, defend democracy, and now it's kind of like we're the retreaters. We're retreating, we're not defending the world. I mean, the Europeans are asking us, where the hell is the United States of America? Why can't you guys be the United States of America once again? The Ronald Reagan United States of America. not the appeasers that that you seem to be these days.
Congressman Juan Vargas, we thank you for the time. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Pleasure,
sir.
of course.
Good to see you.
All right.
Okay, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.